Hey there, YouTubers. I wanted to do an update on where my channel is going, what I'm viewing for the future, and my best friend. Um, I did a video updating my cat Kiki, and I haven't really looked at it, so I might repeat some stuff. But this is Vinny. Vinny's doing pretty well. But as I said in that other video, Kiki stopped eating, took her to the vet, found out it was cancer, and I was optimistic as the vet was talking to us. You know, I'm an optimistic person by nature, so I thought she had quite a bit of time left. And as he was describing it, I was there with my friend who's a nurse. And as I'm like, okay, we could probably get her another year, you know, thinking that way, I looked over at her and she was crying. So the doc ended up taking us in and showing x-rays. And one of her lungs was so full of fluid, you couldn't see most of her organs on the x-ray. So we gave her, he gave her a steroid shot, and then we were giving her pills, and the steroid shot really bounced her back. She hadn't eaten in a few days. We were having to feed her with a syringe to get food in her, and the shot helped her, and she ate good for a day and a half, maybe 2 days, and then she went back to where she wasn't eating again, and we had to feed her with the syringe. So days went by, and I called them to bring her back, and what I wanted to do was give her another shot, hopefully a good boost, and get her some more time. But the night before we went, she kind of took a turn. Through all of this, she was walking around. She's tough. Gosh, she was a tough cat. She was jumping, going places she wanted to go. I was keeping them separated. She was in the house and he was out here in the van most of the time because I wanted to see if she was eating any on her own, and she just wasn't. She was drinking water and peeing and all that stuff, but you know, I'd lay on the floor and she'd walk to me, lay down next to me and stuff, and was seeming like we could have some more time. But then on the last day, the last couple 3 days, she had gotten to where she was hiding a little bit more than normal. And being honest, again, I'm an optimistic person. She had to hide a little bit because of this goofball, because he would always pick on her, you know, swat at her, bite her, take wherever she was laying. He's got a bit of a dick streak to him. So again, I wanted to take her and give her another shot and try to give her a boost and give her some more time. And that day she didn't turn. She didn't turn for the better. And that morning we got up early. We had called the vet. They said, just come in, we'll bring her. And he looked at her, and the vet was so nice and helpful. But there really wasn't much more to do. That morning, she had a nice drive up there. She was looking around because of any cat, any animal I ever seen, that cat loved driving. I have old videos. She'd sit on my armrest in the car and she's looking around, squawking at people that were in my way. And in the van, she'd ride up behind me on the coffee pot, and half the time she had her head down so she could look out the window, and the other half she'd sleep and snore. But I had to make the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. It was really difficult because you get to the point where you don't want to be selfish for you. And you don't want to be selfish for the cat because you think every day of another day is a good thing. But I didn't want her to go violently and all that. So I had to make that hardest decision that I was not prepared to make because, you know, I can do math and I'm not a stupid person. I knew she was over 15 years and 8 months. But gosh, she was you know, 2 weeks earlier, she was fine. She was perfect. She was acting fine and perfect. I think she was toughing it out. This had to be going on for a while. So I brought her up over the Mackinac Bridge, and I guess I had no idea she was going to leave over that Rainbow Bridge that everybody talks about. So it's been really tough on me. Probably one of the toughest emotional times, and I was so fortunate to have my friend able to help me through that part and through just the logistics of, you know, feeding a cat that didn't really want to be fed by a syringe. I don't know what I would have done on my own for either account. So it's just really hard to lose your best friend, you know, someone who didn't care who you voted for, didn't care which God you picked to follow, wasn't on the internet being mean to people, just wanted belly rubs and stuff, and was always there. I think in the last 10 years, I was probably only away from that cat for 8 days, and probably her whole life there was maybe 24 or 5 days that cat wasn't with me. And it's real difficult, very difficult. So I have a bunch of videos from this trip because we did more camping stuff. Haven't done any camping in a bit. Had plans to, but this overwrote those plans. And I haven't even really looked at those videos because in those videos, she was fine. You know, and I'm going to see videos of her being just fine and trying to figure out how I process this long term. So I'm going to do my best to get those videos done. And then I'm going to have to decide if I want to keep making videos. I think I will, but at this moment, and while she was sick, I really didn't have any urge to fiddle around with silly videos. You know, I'm not a person that has ever shared much real stuff in my life that goes on. I don't hardly do it with people I know. And I definitely don't do it on the internet. But I guess my rambling that doesn't have a point just says, first, I read the comments yesterday from people that were very nice, very helpful, very kind, and I appreciate that from everybody that took that time. And yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do about this YouTube stuff. I haven't even really wanted to do much camping in a while, you know, much RVing, much exploring. I'm doing better. I'm not a mess, and I'm not coming on YouTube looking for sympathy or start crying or do any of that drama crap that people do. That's why I choose not to share much of my life that way. But it's tough when you lose friends, because if you're a person that understands, I don't have to explain any of this to you. If you're a person that just sees pets as pets, well, they're more than that sometimes. There's sometimes some of the best people you're ever going to meet, you know, are covered in fur. So, again, I want to thank everybody for the kind words, and I'm gonna do up the videos I've done that have been sitting in the can, I guess, or whatever you call it. I'm going to try to share those because there were some nice places and hopefully some entertaining stuff. But I think sometimes people, when you get watching a lot of YouTube, you know, a person is a character or you're just looking for the content you want. Well, everybody that does these are real people with real things going on in their lives. So, you know, I don't get a lot of views on my YouTube videos anyways, but there's quite a large number of really nice people that I enjoy the communication with. So I'm going to do the best I can. Right, Vin? You one-eared, goofball, diabetic, hair-losing fool. I'm trying to keep an eye on him. He seemed to have looked around for her a little bit, but not as much as I thought. but he is getting a little clingier, and he was always pretty clingy. They were clingy in different ways, but so yeah, I had to do the toughest thing I had to do. I wish it could have been different. I wish I personally could have had more time to adjust. She could have had more time to I fed her whipped cream and bread and all the silly stuff that she liked to eat. I'd get her to look a little bit of it up, trying to give, the best you can. So that's my update. It probably doesn't make any sense, but we'll see where the travels are going to take us, right, Vin? Yeah. I'll be getting her ashes back soon. And she always rode up by the coffee pot, so that's where her ashes are going to go, and she's going to keep going on trips in spirit, I guess. And I will get these videos from the last trip, because again, there's some places that people might like to see, and we'll see what's going to be. The future will be what the future is going to be. I've already rambled on too long. I don't know if I've made a good point, but again, thank you to everybody that took the time to post nice comments. And yeah, it's part of life. The worst part of life. None of us get out of here alive. So that's all I got. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Okay. So my van trips were always about the cats as much as the sights and the food and all that. So it's going to take some adjusting, and I'm going to have to do like all of us have to do, work hard to have a great and wonderful day.